evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Derpy here, and I'm joined by my co-host, as usual, Cujo1989.
Yo.
And today, we're discussing the brand new T78 tank destroyer, which is a little bit more like a Hellcat in a way. It's got a Chafee hull, Jackson turret, and a 90, which is very, very competitive. So, how you feeling so far about it?
Well, to be fair, I'm only about 2 games in. We're looking at a top speed sustained on flat ground, about 53, 54. That's pretty good. Turret traverses your typical Hellcat, as you'd expect. I don't have enough gun time to really give a good comment on the gun, but it is the same one as the Patton Korea and the M46 KR. Oh, no, that is the Patton Korea. Duh.
Yeah.
Never mind that.
But,
Although, fair warning, the reverse speed is absolutely abysmal. It's like 12.
12?
So if you're camping in a bush on the top of a hill, you need to be using the Waffenträger method, where you're facing ass towards enemies, since your back has as much armor as your front. Anyway.
Right.
This way you can run away.
Compared to like the normal Hellcat, what's the reverse speed? Hold on, I gotta look here at the original Hellcat. 12. Okay, so they're pretty much the same tank. It's just that different hull.
Well, the Hellcat's faster overall on flat ground than the T78, but the T78 has the better track traverse. This thing still has the light tank turning ability on the hull.
Right. When I first saw this T78, I was expecting something a little bit faster, especially with the pullout speed, but I wasn't expecting the change, I like the idea of having to turn faster, because honestly, the Hellcat turns like a yacht in comparison to a lot of tanks. So, but yeah, I mean, the gun is pretty competitive. It's a really funky looking tank. Not quite a looker.
.32 concealment.
.32 concealment?
That's actually pretty nice. .32 concealment, so with a camo crew, you can actually be a pretty sneaky little bastard.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you're looking at the modules here inside of it, with the exception of the ammo rack at the back of the bustle and the turret, all the ammo is in the usual Chafee spot, all the way at the bottom at the sides. So this thing getting ammo racked should be somewhat infrequent, if anything.
Well, that is
good.
If you get Emmerich. I mean, we got to remember here, like, we only have like 600 points of health to deal with. So, I mean, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough.
Let's say a
to
bulwark
take a
comes
shot.
around the corner and starts machine gunning you. He's
Okay,
probably not going to pop your head off. Something like that.
Well, you might get. Well, yeah, that's probably what's going to be the case, because it is a tier 6. It'll see up to tier 8. So I mean, you'll see tier 4s. So it's very likely.
The tier 8s, the tier 7s, yes, you're probably going to get, if not one-shotted, then 2/3 at least. But equal tiered, most of the time, not half health or down more. And obviously, if you see lower tiers, you can actually survive a few hits. I mean, it's a tier 6 TD, so survivability is not on the list.
Right. So, the 90. I mean, I see the 90 as very competitive, especially at this tier. I mean, compared to like the original Hellcat has the M3, I believe. No, which cannon does the regular Hellcat have?
No, the Hellcat should be the M3 90mm. Yes.
It's the M3 90mm.
I go confirm that, but it should be the same.
90mm AT gun M3 versus just the regular.
Well, it's just a matter of the actual physical mounting. It's the M3 gun from the M6, from the base Pershing, things like that. It's a gun you know well.
Right. Well, the base Pershing, yeah. Okay.
Same as the T20. I apologize.
Yeah. 30% silver bonus earn. That's all right, especially for tier 6. 40% XP bonus earn. I mean, this could be a tank to grind out a little bit more of the, not free XP, but if you want to get some more XP on regular tanks, but if you're one of the people like us who sit on like 14 million free experience or extra experience, I mean, it's kind of hard to kind of play this tank in such a way because I have so much EXP, I don't really need it.
Basically, what we're sitting on is a solid average to above average tier 6 tank destroyer that was a not ridiculous grind to get for free that's going to earn you a little extra silver and you get to have fun with. That's not a bad thing.
However, the grind is a little bit iffy because for some reason it's only counting like the base XP per match and it doesn't even count first win victories, which is kind of a load of it because I mean it just seems like Wargaming is making it a little bit more grindy.
Well, at the end of the day, they have to try and incentivize buying it, especially to the segment of the market that's a bit more cash flush.
Yeah.
But if you're genuinely free to play, this isn't bad to get a hold of. This was in no way a terrible grind.
Right.
I mean, I'm only playing about 2 hours a day, maybe 4 days a week, and I got it in 3-4 days. That wasn't bad.
Yeah. But if you want to buy it outright, I mean, it's going to be 3,600, so that's going to be roughly around $35. Wait, 3,000 is yeah. No, it's not 30. No, it's $20. Oh my god, I'm getting my conversions wrong. I'm losing my mind. $20.
It's like I said, if you don't have a lot of premiums and you don't want to grind it, you want to pay this $20 for a tier 6 with a reasonably punchy gun, good camo, and good mobility, you can have a lot of fun and get a decent return on this tank. It's actually not a bad little machine.
Now, one thing I want to point out about the price, though, if you don't want to grind it and get the price, if you don't have the Panzer 5.4 just yet, that's also a little bit less than the tier 6 and it's only one tier below, and you'll have a lot more fun versus this tank. I'm only going to self-insert that because everybody should have one, and it's just so much fun to have those.
No, the 5.4 is kind of the idiot-proof tank, and any of you newer gamers out there, or even the ones that can remember coming up through the low tiers, can remember being raffle-stomped by platoons of between 2 and 5 of them just rolling over everything, basically. Everybody has these memories of it having been done to them at least 2 or 3 times. It's a thing.
Yeah. So, I have a question for you. Out of all these tanks, like the regular Hellcat, the Hellcat 105, and this thing, which one would you rather have?
This has got a punchier gun than the regular Hellcat. It doesn't have the top speed, but it has the better hull traverse and general maneuverability. I would probably prefer this over the regular Hellcat because that poor thing just got nerfed so damn badly a couple years ago. They really took it from being a fun machine to just this sad thing compared to what it used to be. The Hellcat 105, I can't really put in the same class as this because derp. Ridiculously overpowered derp. It
High
really
velocity
is its own creature.
derp.
It's its own creature.
Earned from fall. No, it was summer games of last year that we got that.
The Hellcat 105 is going to give you more laughs and more smiles per shot, but the T78 is going to give you more consistency and reliability. It's the one that you can depend on to hit the target when you need it to hit the target.
Right.
Most of the time. I mean, granted, .38 accuracy is still .38 accuracy, but at least you have a rifle instead of a potato gun.
Right. I mean, and plus, that's the good thing about having the Patton KR gun at tier 6. I mean, you have pretty decent pen, so you won't have to really worry about overmatching armor or aiming for weak points, especially at tier, like, against higher tiers like tier 7. I mean, yeah, you might have to, kind of be a little pokey with, like, the Black Princes and the Minutemen, but, you'll still have pretty decent pen for the tier. Or actually really good pen.
Your base AP pen's going to be in the ballpark of 150 to 160. It's going to be in that range because I'm just looking at the averages here. The APCR is going to fall into the order of around
220. I have the exact
220.
values.
No, you cheater.
And then if you decide to run the HE, because it does have HE, it's only 45 millimeters, so you really, it's not even worth running, especially at tier 6.
Against things like, say, the Death Toaster, some of the other really, really squishy TDs, the HE is not unusable, but it'd be unreliable at best.
Right. One thing I want to point out is the accuracy of the KR gun on it, because it's got an aiming time of 2 seconds and an accuracy of 0.38, which is really good at tier 6.
It would have been better to see a .36 or 3.5 out of this tank with this gun. You know, that really would have made it shine a bit better.
I don't see the. I'll be honest with you. I don't see the .35 because the .35 is, yeah, .35 is Panther needle gun accuracy. And I mean, to be honest, the tank is kind of fast and kind of top heavy.
When up-tiered to 7s and 8s, that increased accuracy would really help make the gun more useful. At 6 and down, obviously, you've got enough pen that you're basically going to go through as long as you know you're not aiming at any obviously overly strong armored sections. You're going to reliably pen.
Jumbo.
Yeah, except for that odd shot on AMX ELC when it just happens to bounce miraculously, because that shit just happens.
Or the gun gets absorbed by or your shot gets absorbed by the mantlet or the gun of a 1375.
You know what we're all talking about here when you're in an E100 and you fire AP at a 1390 and somehow you hit the tracks without even taking them off.
Exactly.
And you're just left screaming, how?
But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty decent tank. I personally like it. I mean, it's got very medium light tank qualities to it. However, I wish the pullout game was a little bit better with it. You know, everybody could wish that the reverse gear is a little bit better, but you know, hey, can't deny that it's a good maneuvering. TD in a way. So.
Well, that's why you have to do the waffle butt poke, because it has just as good a gun depression over its ass as it does the front. So you drive up on top of that hill, get in that bush, and you turn your ass to the enemy, because your ass is as thick as your face, so that really doesn't matter. And this way, when you do get spotted, you just punch it in forward. Although you might end up panicking and pulling it into reverse and overexposing yourself instead of running away, but hey, you learn that after the second or third time.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing here. It's a bit of an unrelated joke, but I'm going to make a reference here. The Red Robin Wedding. For anybody that knows exactly what I'm referring to in that, have it out in the comments and let us know. I'm curious how many of you can pick up on it, because I know my host here has no clue what I'm talking about.
I don't. I don't.
The Red Robin Wedding. Because if we're going to have a hate discussion about the consoles in between them, well, that's a beautiful and pertinent thing. If you don't know what it is, look it up on YouTube. Type that in, Red Robin Wedding. And you'll you might get a laugh, or you might be completely and totally confused. 50-50.
Well, he holds me at gunpoint, so I watch it. I mean, you should probably watch it well if you don't see it, because he's going to hold me at gunpoint until I actually watch it. So... Ooh, excuse me. But at any rate, that was our small discussion at the T78. We overall think it's a pretty decent tank. I mean, not gonna lie, it's got very different attributes versus the other Hellcats. And yeah. Anything to say before we wrap up here?
Nah, we pretty much covered it all. Jokes and all.